Hi Scrapbookers, this is Megan and I am back today with another Victoria Marie challenge. This one is being hosted by Crafty, who is Christy's Beautiful Life here on YouTube, so make sure that you go on over to her channel to see her video on how she used this sketch. Now for this sketch I had this one photo of my son Jonas, and the sketch called for 2 photos that were horizontal. So I decided just to kind of take it and do this one photo instead. And so first off, I glued down that wood grain paper to the craft paper that I have as the background. And sorry, I stepped away for a minute here. I glued the photo down to just a plain white cardstock. Oh, here, now I'm gluing it down. Sorry, I didn't actually glue it down. So there I'm just gluing that down, and then it wasn't long enough, so I cut it in half, and I'm just gonna bring it down a little bit. It was like not even that much. It was like a millimeter, maybe, that it wasn't long enough, but I wanted to make sure that it went all the way to the bottom. So here I'm just kind of cutting up my papers, and I pulled out this Fisker's border punch, and I'm going to punch these little scallops along it, and then I'm going to glue it to the right side of that wood grain paper. So that's going to take a little bit just for me to get that all punched out, and then I'm going to clean up the scraps that came from it, and then I'm going to glue it down. And I had pulled out a ink pad from Close to My Heart, and it's called Sapphire. It's one of their new colors of the year, or I guess from the new catalog. And so here I'm going to put that down, and oh, I forgot. I was thinking that I was going to ink it, but I forget to ink it, and so I'm going to have to go back and ink it while it's still on the layout. So here I cut the paper in half, but then I decided I wanted it to be longer. So I used the other side of the pattern paper, the chevron paper, and here I am going to glue it down. And then I'm going to cut a piece of this green floral paper, and I'm going to put it right there. And I apologize if you can hear my dog. He's chewing on one of his rope toys, so I hope it's not too loud. So here is where I'm going to use the Tim Holtz inking tool, or whatever that's called, to ink the edges of all the papers. And then here I'm kind of trying to figure out where exactly I want to place these papers. Then I remembered that the sketch called for a little banner piece. So I'm going to put these together, and then I was going to glue it down, and then I'm like, oh, wait a minute, I wanted to add another pattern paper. So I grabbed this one, and this one is from the Memorandum collection by Pink Paisley, and it came in my click kits, and that was the click kit for December. I've been using that one lately, so I just had it to the side of my table, and it was just a scrap. And it fit perfect. Like, it was the exact perfect size. So I was so excited, and the yellow seemed to match really well with these other pattern papers, which were from the Scraptastic Kit Club. Okay, so I glued down the banner, and then I glued down the photo. Then I also had the extra piece of paper from that click kits, the Memorandum paper. So I'm just using my Michael's Recollections punch to punch out these 1-inch circles, and I punched out all of them that were on that spare piece of paper, but I don't think I'm going to end up using them. There were some that were kind of really small, and so I think I'm just going to end up throwing those ones away. Here I am thinking, okay, I need a bigger circle, and the next biggest circle that I have is like a 1.5 inch. So, and it might actually be bigger than that. It might be 2 inches. I don't remember. So I ink that up, and even though it's quite a bit bigger, I still really like the way it looks. So I'm just gluing down all of these circles and inking them up. And I'm going to put one down there in that corner below the photo, and then I'm going to put one above the photo as well and to the right hand side. So here I'm just going to kind of play around a little bit with inking and then the placement of the circle. And I really like that. So then I need to find something to do my journaling on. So I had this cut apart sheet, and it had this piece, this little 3x4 that said noted on it. So I am going to ink that up, and I'm going to place that there and do my journaling on there. And I actually kind of mess up on my journaling, not like in a huge way, but it just bothers me because that word noted is at the bottom, and I have to include it in my journaling. And so it was just kind of like, ugh, I hate it when I do that. When I write too much and it goes into like the journaling, I don't know, the noted, whatever. So here I'm trying to make some circles with this little tool, but it didn't really work. So then I was like, okay, I guess I could pull out an ink, and then I could just kind of do a little whooshing motion and make a bunch of circles. And that didn't work out as well as I had hoped, and I should have just pulled out a brush, a watercolor brush, but I was being lazy and stupid. It was late at night when I was making this, and so I just wasn't thinking, and I just kept trying to make it work, and it just wasn't working. So I kind of wish that I hadn't done that, but oh well. Then here I'm using, I don't even remember what color this is, but it's a Mr. Huey's, and it's kind of like an orangish yellow. Hold on and I'll go grab it. Okay, yeah, it's called Desert, and I got that from Studio Calico when I used to subscribe to their kit. Then I also used Heidi Swap Gold, and I'm just doing some sprinkles and a bunch of different places on the layout. And I think I'm pretty much almost done with this layout. What else do I do? I just made it the other night, and I still can't even remember what I did. Oh, okay, so here I'm doing my journaling, and this is where I mess up. So I had a line that was at the top, but it had some sprinkles on it from the mist, the spray mist. So I didn't use that line, but I totally should have because I needed more space. So I have to end up writing underneath the word noted, which I hate when I have to do things like that, because then when my kids and my husband read it, they're like, what? That doesn't make sense. So the last sentence says, this was his pose when I told him noted to smile. Like, that's how my kids and my husband will read it, and so it just bothers me when I do that. So it's really not that big of a deal, but anyway. So here I'm using my Project Life rotary date stamp to stamp the date, and this was last year during one of Jonas's baseball games. So this is my oldest son, he's 11. And here I'm just putting down an extra circle. And then something that I really like to do lately is to find another spot to write the date on, or to stamp the date on, and then stamp it once with the full color, and then stamp the rest of the stamp off until there's no color left. And so I did it to the bottom left of the photo. So here I'm pulling out this Pen Pals Alpha set, and this is from Pink Paisley as well. This is an older Alpha, I guess, but it took forever to find all of the letters that I needed. So my title is going to be Full of Energy, and I just thought that the color of this Alpha went really well with this layout. So I really like that I used that layout, or that Alpha set. So it's going to take me a while to find all of these. I think I had to go through pretty much the whole pack to find all of the letters that I needed. That's the only bad thing about letters like this that don't come on a sheet, is that you have to kind of search for them. And that's kind of, yeah, not always the, most fun way to spend time doing a layout. But then I think my photos, I haven't taken my photos yet, but when I go to take my photos, I think I'm going to actually add something in the top left-hand corner up there, because it just looks really bare, and I think it needs something something more up there. So the photos might look a little bit different than what you see at the end of the layout. I haven't really decided yet. So here I'm just kind of playing around with the placement of the title. I'm thinking maybe I should make it look like, you know, 3 little banners, but then I decide no, I'm just gonna do it straight, and I like that. So I pulled out this Heidi Swap gold sticker sheet. There was some stars on it, so I'm going to put some stars on the layout. I'm also going to use one of the phrases. Let me see if I use it right now. Oh, here I decided it was looking kind of bare behind the photo, so I pulled out this doily that I just got from Michael's, and I'm going to glue it behind the photo there. And I'm sorry about my dog, you guys. He is just one of those dogs that just likes to be around you all the time. Like, literally, I step on him about 100 times a day because he's always right behind me. Okay, so here now, I think I'm going to start gluing down my title. I think that's what I'm going to do. Yep, so I pulled out my standard tip fine line bottle, and it's just got my Tombow aqua glue in it, and I love that stuff. That's like my favorite liquid glue. When I first started using it, I wasn't the biggest fan of it, just because it wasn't as good as a few of the other ones that I had used. But then once I got used to it, it became my favorite. Because I really do love glossy accents, but if you're doing things and it comes, like you put too much glue on it and it comes out the sides, then it's all glossy and you can see it. And so that kind of bothers me. So when I moved on to the Tombow mono glue, it worked out really well. So it's going to take a bit of time to do this. Like I said earlier, make sure that you go over to Christy's Beautiful Life here on YouTube and check out her video, and also come on over to the Victoria Marie Facebook group on Facebook. If you're not already a member, just ask to join and we can get you into that group. It's a really, really fun group. I've been a member of it since she started it, I believe. I don't even remember when she started it, like a year or two ago, but recently I've just been spending a lot more time on there, and it's just such a fun group. So come on over and come hang out with us, share your layouts with us. We would love to see what you make, and join in on the challenges. There's going to be a weekly challenge, and I am on the design team. You can see my layout that I made this week on Tuesday. I will leave a link below for that, so you can find that. Now here I'm just finishing up. I finished the title, and here I am deciding to pull off some of these star pieces, and I didn't really like that border of stars, so I moved that to above the journaling, and then I'm just going to use these single stars and put those right next to the title, or right in with the title and everything. So I'm just using my silhouette tool to get out all of those extra pieces. And then I really like the look of this phrase that says "Stay Gold." So I'm going to use that to put down in the bottom right hand corner. And then I think about using that word crushing, and I think I might actually go back and put that up in the left hand corner with a little embellishment area, because while I was sitting here playing around, I thought, oh, it would be so cool if I had made the title be "Crushing It." So I don't know, I might still incorporate it. But here are some close-ups that I'm showing you on the video, and then I will also have some photos for you to see. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you next week. Bye.